Hello and welcome to a special edition of The Big Fight. We've been on the road trying to go to some of the states and some of the areas that could be particularly important in these elections. Last week, you will recall, we were in Uttar Pradesh, of course, the largest state of them all. And this is number 2, this is Maharashtra, and we are here in Mumbai, in Shivaji Nagar, which is actually a chawl. You can see interesting indication of what is happening to Mumbai. So this is a chawl that we are in. And right above the chawl, you can see one of these big skyscrapers actually now starting to be built. So it sort of signifies the old coexisting with the new, and that's part of what's happening. What are going to be the issues here in Mumbai, in Maharashtra? What is really going to happen? Maharashtra, one of those states that could really determine what's going to happen out here. Various opinion polls are pointing to different things. Can the Congress party and the NCP hold on to what they got last time? Or will the BJP and Shiv Sena be putting up a massive, massive challenge in taking dominance this time around? And by the way, AAP also there and other parties, what are they going to be doing? Great panel joining us. Milind Deora, thank you so much for being with us. This actually, I think, is in your constituency. That's right. Now. That's right. This is an area you acquired when your constituency expanded.
Yes, when after the delimitation in 2009, this came in to be part of my constituency, and earlier it was represented by someone from Shiv Sena for 5 terms, incidentally. And now it's part of my constituency.
Okay, so delimitation, what impact would that have? Shaina NC, spokesperson of the BJP. Shaina, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. Shweta Parlikar, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena. Thank you so much for joining us as well. We have with us Preeti Sharma Menon, member of the Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party actually trying to make a presence felt in all 48 seats, which surprised some people. We thought you might want to just go for 10 or 15 and try and win some seats. But you're trying to contest all of them, so we'll see how that pans out. Siddharth Bhatia, a senior journalist and columnist, will help us understand exactly what is going to happen. Any early predictions, Siddharth?
This time, all bets are off.
All bets are
about Maharashtra are off.
Okay. And it's always a pleasure to have with us Prahlad Kakkar to tell us exactly what he thinks is going to happen in these elections. So thank you all so much for being with us. Let's just jump straight into it. Shaina, why don't you have a go first? Some of the opinion polls, like the NDTV opinion polls, seem to be pointing that you and the Shiv Sena could well be this time picking up something like 33, which would have a major impact on the national ambitions of Narendra Modi.
Well, Vikram, let me remind you that when Vajpayee ji did come to power, the NDA and the Shiv Sena BJP did have 33 then too. So I don't think it's a shocking figure. Maybe we'll even surpass and cross 35. But having said that, Maharashtra is the most crucial state because it's the second largest state. 48 seats, huge anti-Congress, NCP, corrupt practices that one has seen. So a huge sentiment against it. And I think that people realize that if they want a mandate on leadership, on stability and progress, they need to vote for the NDA and the BJP, and especially with Narendra Modi as our prime ministerial candidate, not just to vote for him, but to show that a person who has political will can transform a state which was number 1 once.
Okay, Milind has been smiling through a lot of what you said, because obviously he disagrees with you. Milind?
Well, I'll tell you what, in 10 years
we don't have somebody from the NCP here to give you support, so I'm going to allow you.
That's fine, I can sort of speak for myself. In the 10 years that I've been associated with politics, and this is my 3rd election, Vikram, I've seen a lot of opinion polls, and I've seen what they've predicted about Mumbai, about Maharashtra and about India. And more often than not, they've been wrong. And I think one problem that BJP has is they tend to believe that hype, and that's when they go wrong. So that's the good news for us. The second part is, of course, the Congress NCP combined has been in power in the center and the state. So I do accept there will be anti-incumbency. It will be foolish and arrogant not to expect
that. And it's double anti-incumbency, because there's anti-incumbency in the state and at the center.
But there's a lot of things going for us. One is that people understand that there's heavy anti-incumbency even at local level against the Shiv Sena BJP, because the municipality, which accounts for about 90% of civic issues in our city, have been run by the Shiv Sena and BJP for decades.
But are you voting for a prime minister, or are you voting for civic amenities?
Well, you spoke about the state government. So if you're bringing in the state government, people will also bring in the municipality, number one. Secondly, I think a fundamental difference is, because you're talking about Maharashtra, we have a very strong team. There's a very good set of candidates across the board, whether it's in Mumbai, whether it's in other places, who are known, who've been working, who have good images. For example, the Chief Minister, I think he's someone who has a very credible image. He's someone who's seen to be a clean, efficient doer. And I think these are things which will work.
But as
If
you
I
said,
may
you're voting
add,
for a...
Ashok Chavan as well is a great candidate.
Yeah, well, I think Ashok Chavan isn't the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, and nor is he a candidate from Mumbai.
Well,
I think
that's
the
for the
candidates
public to decide if somebody who's been implicated in the Adarsh scam is going to be voted or booed out.
Well, Narendra Modi has been accused of the worst crimes
And he's been given a
against
clean
humanity.
chit by the Supreme Court and the SIT.
but
So
the-
please, let's not get into that.
But
I
there's a
mean,
big
he's had a
difference
clean
between-
chit from the highest court, and if you don't value the judiciary, I think public opinion is not
That's
above
not
the
true. He
judiciary.
hasn't got a clean chit from the highest court. That's factually incorrect.
Okay,
But you know, it's not about, to put the debate aside, Vikram, if I may, BJP likes to create hype, a media hype, spin, and they tend to believe that spin. I think they did that with the India Shining campaign in 2004.
Okay.
And I'm pretty convinced on 16th of May, they're going to be proven wrong again. But I believe ultimately...
We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Can I just get some opening comments from everyone else then? Just wanted to ask you one question which many people have been asking is all well in the Shiv Sena-BJP alliances? Some talk about efforts that were made to reach out to the MNS to try and persuade the MNS not to split the vote. If you look at the last election, actually if the MNS had not been there, the Shiv Sena and the BJP could well have won most of the seats of Mumbai. What was wrong with the overture to the MNS, and is that something which will really upset the Shiv Sena?
I think it will not upset the Shiv Sena because now the voters have realized that what MNS stands for. And between BJP and Shiv Sena, everything is fine. The little ups and downs go on in every political party, so that's not an issue to be really discussed about. But as of today, voters 100% know that what Shiv Sena stands for, and they want a Congress-free government, and for which Shiv Sena will be a strongest ally like it has been in the past, and see to it that Mr. Modi is elected as the Prime Minister.
Okay, Shaina, just to take that point forward, you were with Mr. Gadkari just a couple of days back. What was the thought process behind trying to reach out to the MNS?
No, I think
Is
you're
that
reading
something which
too
you
much.
still think, by the way,
Not
makes
at
sense?
all. Not at all. The alliance is the BJP, the Shiv Sena and the RPI, which is our Mahayuti. We have clearly said we have only one agenda, which is to defeat and dethrone the corrupt Congress and NCP, not just in the state, but in the center as well. I don't think there's any reading between the lines. We're very, very firm that
But was
we've
there
been
an
with the
effort to
Shiv
tell the
Sena for
MNS not to
28
contest or not?
Not at all. If they choose to do it on their own behest, so be it. It's their prerogative. We aren't going to speak for them. We are with
But
the
you're
Shiv
not asking
Sena.
them not to
Not
contest.
at all. We are with the Shiv Sena, and we know that the public is going to vote for the government in the center of the NDA, which is supported by Shiv Sena RPI and the Prime Ministerial candidate. I don't need to announce over and over again.
Okay, let me just turn to you, Preeti, and then I want to start getting the audience in just to get their sense of what the issues are. But Preeti, the question I started by asking, 48 seats the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to get. If you are to actually take a list of it all, I can think of one, maybe two of your candidates who have a realistic chance of winning. So do you think this is overkill?
The reason for 48 seats is because there is a huge cry for change amongst the people. These candidates are not fielded by Aam Aadmi Party, they are fielded by the people of those constituencies themselves. Because I think the BJP Congress both have demonstrated in Maharashtra how they are together in corruption. There's so much crony capitalism here, and they've completely removed themselves from what the ground people are feeling. I mean, what's going on with the farmers in Maharashtra since the last 18 months after drought and then heavy rains and now the hailstorm. The absolutely pathetic conditions of project affected persons whose land has been acquired, where Sancheti and Ashok Chavan and Gadkari are all in partnership with each other, is very clear in Maharashtra. So there's a huge need for change here. And nobody sees these two parties as different. Nobody sees these two groups as
So
different.
you're saying the Congress and the BJP are the same?
The
So they want
Congress,
an
NCP, BJP, Sena are the same.
All four are the same?
They are into dynastic politics, they are into corruption, they are into crony capitalism. They are the same.
I'd like to add a little that, you know, Aam Aadmi is Congress, or Congress is Aam Aadmi. There is a hidden handshake.
I
and
love how
there's no
everyone's trying to
exaggeration.
merge all the other parties together. So, okay, that's one way of looking at it. Now tell us that.
First of all, journalists always rush in where others fear to tread. But even then, predictions are a little bit of problem. I'll just set out 2 or 3 things. Congress's biggest problem and NCP's biggest problem is A, double incumbency, be things like irrigation scams, 3 farmer suicides, and just fatigue. Okay, so, but they have 25 seats, and the Congress is traditionally, and NCP and the Congress in that sense are one. They have traditionally held on to the state for years. They've been in the state government for 15 odd years and all that kind of thing, and they keep getting voted back. And the reason for that is that the Shiv Sena BJP combined cannot simply enthuse voters beyond their pocket areas, Bombay, Pune, Nasik, Thane, Kalyan, and a little bit here and there, even Vidarbha and all that kind of thing. But they just can't enthuse. Second, the Congress may have a problem reaching that 25 number, that combined. The BJP Shiv Sena has very severe problems, so I don't know whether they can take full advantage of that. A, the BJP Maharashtra unit is at war with each other. It's a civil war, really. Second, the Shiv Sena is facing some internal problems, but surprisingly, the Shiv Sena is actually a much more organized party, where people don't realize that Shiv Sena is extremely strong in their strong areas. They're very good on the ground, so they don't get shaken, and the proof of that is the way they win municipal corporations.
Right.
So, let's say Mumbai, the Shiv Sena always does well, and last time would have swept had the MNS not entered.
Yeah, I think this particular area we're in is a Shiv Sena area, so they always win from here.
Then you have the 2 wild cards, and the MNS and the AAP are the wild cards. So
how wild a wild card are they?
Well, MNS
I mean,
more than them.
She was disputing when I said 1, maybe 2 seats.
No, but even 2 seats and a few spoilers here and there are going to be a wild card. So you're going to have 4-cornered contests in which somebody with 25% of the vote is going to walk away.
Okay.
Of 16 lakhs, half of them vote, they just walk away.
But in terms of winning for the Aam Aadmi Party,
huh?
In terms of seats they can win, Medha maybe, Anjali possibly, outside
50-50, Medha Patka perhaps.
Meera and Milind.
You know, he's a friend of mine, so I hope he doesn't think that I'm being on his side, but I think he's got a better chance than most.
Okay. Prahlad Kakkar, before I turn to the audience, Prahlad Kakkar, tell us exactly what's going to happen and what the main issues are.
I don't know what's going to happen, but frankly, Maharashtra has always been a much more traditional state in terms of swings than anybody else. But having said that, there are majorities within the state which are specifically Shiv Sena, maybe not BJP, but definitely Shiv Sena and MNS oriented. But what has happened to the Congress here is a very big blow. What I've been saying for the last 6 months is that their biggest Achilles heel is actually the NCP. They are the single most corrupt party in this state. If you look at
In the country.
anybody, any of their ministers, they're all raking it in so shamelessly that the irrigation scam is, which the journalists have actually not taken up. I'm amazed, because here's this guy who's written himself his own white paper, absorbed himself of a 70,000 crore scam, 40,000 farmers have committed suicide. It's the biggest man-made catastrophe. It's the biggest man-made catastrophe since the Great Bengal famine. Okay, and nobody's really brought it out.
Okay.
And then, if I may just
let me get Milind to respond to that before I come to you, China. You want to respond to that? NCP as a liability? I mean, I've heard 2 versions of this. One is that the NCP is a liability for the reason that Prahlad was saying. The other is that the NCP is perhaps a little more organized than the Congress party, especially when you go outside, into the rural areas.
I'll just say it very simply. I'm not here to protect anyone. If it's someone from NCP, from Shiv Sena, from MNS, BJP, my own party, I call a spade. And if someone has to be investigated, if there's a serious allegation against someone, so be it. I'm not defending anyone if they've done something right or wrong, but I'm not going to sit around here and pass judgments and say someone's corrupt or someone isn't. I do believe that there is anti-incumbency, there's bound to be anti-incumbency, but I do think that a lot of the elections, especially in a city like Mumbai, are also very localized.
Okay, China, before I turn to the audience, you want to respond to that part about the infighting of the BJP?
I will respond to both, but I couldn't agree more than what I do with Prahlad, because corruption is one issue, but the insensitivity coupled with it. We've seen thousands of farmers commit suicide, and then Ajit Pawar has the audacity to make that comment that, if there's no water, what should I do? Should I urinate? I think public should not forget, and if you forget, you will really be punished for voting these scoundrels back into power. As far as what Siddharth said, I work very closely in the state unit. There is no two divided houses. We are all fighting under the leadership of our stalwarts, and I think that we need to understand that the public who is deciding to vote in this election is only voting for Narendra Modi ji and BJP at the center because they want the good governance model.
Okay, so two different views. He's saying that no, they're going to be fighting on local issues. You say no, they're going to be voting.
I'm saying it's going to be both.
It's going to be both.
going to be a
Let me
matter of
ask all of you,
leadership.
right? In these elections, when you're going to go out to vote, how many of you are going to be voting largely for local issues in the areas surrounding you? Okay, that's actually a majority. How many of you are going to be voting to get a particular prime minister at the center? So China, interestingly, and it's not a scientific sample, but a majority of people out here seem to be saying local factors as opposed to for a prime minister. Let me get some voices from you.
This farmer society is the biggest issue in Maharashtra. So what's your party or your alliance is planning to tackle this issue? I just want to know from your side. Like,
Okay, I think that's a great point. I'll come back to the audience again in about 5-10 minutes. But let me just come to that. Let me come to this entire, because, okay, look, this is Mumbai, but if you look at what's been happening in Bidhar, this is Maharashtra. This has been traditionally one of the richest and one of the best states in the country. And if you consider what's been happening in Bidhar, but Milan, let me put it to you. I mean, even you take an example of somebody like Kalavati, whom Rahul Gandhi spoke about in 2009, and he said, look at the tragic case of Kalavati. Look what's happened to her and her own family in the years after that.
Suicide.
Her daughter's committed suicide now.
Yes.
That same Kalavati,
After
on whom Rahul Gandhi says national attention should be focused, her daughter commits suicide later. So in a sense, that's just an indication of just how bad things are becoming in parts of Bidhar.
Well, look, there are farmers committing suicide in different parts of the country. There are farmers committing suicide in Gujarat. There are farmers committing suicide in many other states.
Not agrarian.
It's not
Not
about
because
are,
of
they, are more
agrarian
committing suicide or less. Let's not be insensitive about it. A suicide is a suicide. A crisis, agrarian crisis is an agrarian crisis regardless of which state it's in. I'm happy to sort of debate what the solutions are. I'm not holding a brief for any political party or politician to say we can do it better. Tell us solutions. What's the point of just highlighting the problem and saying there's a problem? Tell us what the solution is. We don't have a solution.
May I please
Well, they could
say,
have done better, yes.
the irrigation scam itself says that there was a problem and the most corrupt ministers have allocated contracts, dams have collapsed, there's been no systematic way of even conserving water, and then you have the audacity to say that don't do a comparison. Why do we have thousands of farmer suicides in Maharashtra and not in other states? If you have your systems in place, you have political will, you ensure
You have a lot of
that the
farmer suicides in
contractors,
Gujarat.
one second.
How come you have
that
suicides
question
in
was
the
raised
best developed
in
state in
Parliament.
the country?
I have the facts and figures. That question was raised in Parliament. On record, there is zero suicide attributed to a farmer.
that's not
If
true.
a farmer has committed suicide and the National Crime Bureau reports,
That's
it
simply
can be
not
reported.
true.
Let's
No,
focus
no,
back
no,
on
it's
Bidhar.
actually true and the
Statistical-
Parliament has proved it.
That's
In
a statistical
Bidhar,
convenience.
in
but
Bidhar, the main perpetrator of the irrigation scam is Sancheti, who is from the BJP. So the fact is that it's not just Congress or the BJP. They've both done it together. Systematically, contract after contract has been looted by them. Farmers have just been not given a drop of water. The entire water goes to power plants of Mr. Gadkari and other cronies of theirs. Whether it's Praful Patel, whether it's Gadkari,
May I
they are
say
all
something
into
about
power
the
plants.
AAP party?
They are all into looting the water meant for the
Nirmala,
farmers.
this is
Okay,
a competitive
let us respond to
expose
that
you
specific
keep
charge,
getting
then I'll
into.
come to you.
And
I can
Sancheti-
also allege, you can allege
Sancheti's
that
driver
there is no
owns a flat in Adarsh. Sancheti's driver owns a flat in Adarsh, where he is partnered with Ashok Chavan to commit that scam. I mean, they are so in it together and they say we must not expose. Why must we not expose?
No, it's no
The
question
emperor
to
has
expose
no
with
clothes.
facts. Don't mislead
People,
the
the
public.
emperor has no
You
clothes.
did this when you
Expose
went to
them.
Gujarat. You went to Gujarat, you did the same thing. You tried to condemn and say that, look,
This is
Mr.
a
Modi has done
70,000
nothing.
crore scam.
It's for
Let's not
public
talk
to
Gujarat,
realize
let's
and
talk
public to
Maharashtra.
understand.
Can you answer for Sancheti? I mean, what is this Sancheti thing?
I'm not holding his brief, I'm holding the brief for my party, and I
He's
feel that the
BJP.
state of Maharashtra
he
has
is a
been let
BJP
down.
person.
Dams which have been
Representative of BJP.
constructed, Mr. Ajit Pawar has passed contract after contract. Mr. Sharad Pawar is the agricultural minister in the center. Still, what has happened to the state? And if
Okay.
you want to really hold somebody accountable, hold the people in the positions of power.
Milan,
Make
I'll-
sure
I'll
that
be
the
very-
people
Milan,
show
I
some
want to ask you
Siddharth, Siddharth and
Vikram.
Siddharth,
Vikram.
what's to blame? Who is to blame?
See,
And
firstly-
what are the situations that led to the situation? of
Firstly,
Virat?
I'll tell you one thing. Corruption is a very, very dangerous ground to go towards for any party. I mean, if the BJP thinks that it can raise the issue of corruption, that to rural corruption in this state, then it's on very thin ice.
We can raise
Completely.
solutions.
AAP has this habit of, blaming everybody and all that kind of thing. But
it's time to do
but,
that.
but they have put issues on the table. So it's not that Mr. Ajit Pawar has been a little more blatant about it and he's in power. But I think there is sufficient evidence to say that prominent BJP people's names also come up in various corruption scandals. That's point one. Point two, local. Everybody sitting around here at the end of the day is not thinking about the farmer at Vidarbha.
Absolutely.
They are thinking about bijli, sadak, pani, jobs, ration card, documentation, etc. If their MP, local MP, over the last few years has delivered, they will walk out that day and say, when I wanted something done, his representative came in. And that's where parties with strong networks come into play.
Prahlad, you are making a point, then I want to come specifically to this area
What I want
also.
to know, Nilan, is why haven't you guys seen the writing on the wall and dumped the NCP at least a year ago? Because I'll tell you something, they had an agenda which was so obvious that they were going to dump you just before the elections. It so happened that they lost a hell of a lot of votes in one of their bastions, and so they were shaken, about 3 months ago. Otherwise they would have dumped you guys, because what
anyway.
they did was they played
And-
spoiler for you. They are very corrupt. Ajit Pawar has actually gone out of his way to be absolutely arrogant and blatant.
Okay,
But the
Prahlad,
worst
that comparative dumping is now in a sense matter with that's past history.
No,
They're
because
fighting together.
they'll have to pay for the NCP sins.
Okay.
Because what the NCP has done is they put the banduk on their shoulder and they shot with it, because people don't blame the NCP for corruption. They blame the government.
Okay.
Because the NCP is a part of the government.
Okay,
So
now
they're
I want-
taking
And
Can I
to
just-
top it all, Mr. Pawar, who's such a senior leader, says how one should vote twice and erase the ink.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
that is
is
the height of
condemnable.
everything.
Yeah, that was a bit over the top, wasn't it? I mean, more than over the top. I'm trying to find a polite way to
No,
put
but he's
it.
supposed to be joking about it.
Voting twice.
How
I
he
mean,
How can
if it's
you-
a
how
joke,
can
it
you
wasn't
His
very.
mouth was
Without
laughing.
the-
If it's
No,
a
I mean,
joke,
look,
it's not a very funny
Can
joke.
I mean, as far as I know, he made a comment. He clarified his comment a day later. He said he didn't mean it seriously. Let me be very frank and very brutally honest. This is election season. Politicians out there, politicians are using all kinds of tactics to sort of sway people. They're using humor, they're using wit. Sometimes you you go into an extreme with that, and that can put somebody in a controversy. But I think he's explained his stance. He said what
He said it was.
had.
He said he
I
was
think to
saying
be-
it light-heartedly.
I think to
It
be
was
fair to him, he's a
It
senior
was an
enough leader.
incitement to break the law, which he did
I think
light-heartedly.
he's a senior enough politician to know, what's violating the code of conduct and what isn't. So, as long as he's
But-
clarified his stand, I
One
think it's
second.
fine.
To make a comment that you should vote twice in jest, and to say vote here on this date, wipe the
Wipe
ink
the-
on your finger and go back and vote is even giving you the idea of how you're supposed to
And
do it.
China, he also said that the dates are different this
Yes.
time. That is very
And
lucky.
we all say
That
so
was not
vote
the
twice.
case last time. This doesn't happen in jest.
But okay,
They
the election.
conferred on stage. All the other NCP leaders came together and they conferred. Okay, Satara is 17th and Mumbai is 24th. So they all very clearly decided and said that it was
Well,
not a
listen,
joke.
if we are gonna judge politicians based on the gaps that they've made in the last few months or years, I think Narendra Modi, your party leader, and Arvind Kejriwal are fine specimens of making terrible mistakes, saying very controversial
By the-
things. Let's be honest. Let's be fair. This is
Shiv Sena
election
has been
season. People
named-
say things as
But
long as
at
people.
least our
No,
people
one sec.
say what was
Inside-
Manmohan Singh saying.
At least, no,
Us
people
from
should have-
Congress even speaking.
But it's better to have at least, I think, how you should judge people, how young India should judge politicians.
Can I just come back here? Now, we've seen this chawl behind us. Now, we were talking about Vidarbha. Let's come to some of the urban problems in places like this, in the city of Mumbai. Now, this is an example of what's happening in Mumbai. You have chawls like this here in the heart of Mumbai. Apparently, these are 180 square feet. Apparently, the price of these is 75 lakh rupees. 75 lakh rupees. I was just asking people out here, how much does one of these chawls go for? 75 lakh rupees. how do people in cities like Mumbai afford housing? And then there are solutions that are thought of. There are solutions such as linking to Navi Shera and places across, which are just held up in red tape for 1 year, you can understand it. 5 years, 20 years, 30 years, the solutions just don't come to pass. Do you blame the people for being angry?
No, I accept that, and I think that one thing that maybe all of us, I'd like to sort of reach out to all the politicians from different parties here who are contesting elections, is that, we'll attack each other and we'll attack our leaders and we'll attack statements they made. That's well and good. But can we agree on 2 or 3 important things for the city of Mumbai?
Oh yes.
Can we all agree to lend our political support to connect, like you said, Mumbai to the hinterland?
Yes.
Lend our political support, because that will throw up a lot of land, make land more affordable. It'll do away with the slum problem. It'll create more affordable housing. Can we agree that what the state government may have done wrong, but a good thing they've done recently is Maharashtra government is the first state in the country to have a housing regulator, which will regulate transactions between homeowners, home buyers and errant developers. And I think that's a very positive step in controlling the builder, politician, bureaucrat nexus in the city of Mumbai. And I just hope that all 3 parties who are represented here can agree that that's an important solution to regulate builders in this city.
I hear all of you agreeing with that?
That's never going to happen.
No, it's happened. It's happened.
No, because the slum SRA, which will then demolish this and build something here, everyone's got their hand in the till.
No, Siddharth, I'd like to interrupt you. The housing regulator is a reality.
No, housing regulator
The state
is a
is
reality.
the first state in the country which has a
But
housing regulator.
We will see when the housing regulator first catches one builder and says, you have done things wrong.
So can we agree as political parties to
No, that's
not
wonderful.
defend
That's
any
Let
builder
me see the
regardless
political
of
parties will
15
agree. For
years
once on a
to
big
do.
fight, will we have agreement on what he said? Linking up Mumbai with the hinterland,
That-
doing
Yeah,
something about
I
housing.
think
But clearly, but if you're gonna
anything
have
for
a
the
background-
betterment of the people, we are there with.
Thank you. Thank you.
that 75 lakh thing, Vikram, in another 5 years will be 2 crore. It's not going to change.
Yeah.
No.
Would the Aam Aadmi Party support it?
See, what we see is there's a complete lack of will to implement any of the things that
No,
they
he's
say
asking
on
that
stage.
if in theory that they all agree. So, but I'm saying that, so this is the
Will
question.
you at least reach out
All
and be
politicians
constructive and not
agree.
negative?
We definitely would reach out and be constructive, and if
Good.
there is any
Thank you.
all-party plan to redevelop the slums of Mumbai, giving people their rightful homes, we would be happy to support it. But what we've only seen is SRA scam after scam after scam.
So, somebody help me understand this. All political parties agree that this should be done, right? They will say scam after scam after scam, but even the Aam Aadmi Party says that, yeah, these are good things to do. Every political party has agreed that these things need to be done for decades. Why aren't they done?
Because he just
Which
said,
political party will say you should not have better transportation?
Because he
Which
just
political
said-
party will say you should not improve the
You need to
locals
have
here in
one
Mumbai?
factor.
Which political party will say you should not have a functioning metro or a functioning monorail?
No,
in
I'll
Mumbai?
tell you.
Why aren't they
Because-
done?
Because
Because-
the power has been with Congress for the last 60 years.
No, that's not true.
And the
Because Shiv
BMC
Sena
has
is in
been
power
with
in the
you.
BMC for how many
They're
decades? I'll
talking
tell you the
about
real
BMC
reason.
has been with them.
I'll tell you,
infrastructure projects.
as the only elected representative over here on this dais, I'll tell you the real reason. It's that every political party plays politics. I'll give you a very simple solution. For the city of Mumbai, there are multiple agencies running Mumbai. The city of Mumbai elects 269 representatives. 237 of them are corporators, there are MLAs, there are MPs. Not one elected representative is in charge of the city of Mumbai. I proposed an idea many years ago. I tried to renew that idea through Twitter and social media. Can we have a directly elected mayor for the city of Mumbai? Someone who will be directly elected by all the people of Mumbai, someone who will be directly accountable to the people of Mumbai. I'll tell you why that project always gets derailed. And it's a very, very important reform for the city of Mumbai. The reason it gets derailed is every time you throw up something like that and try to make it a political issue so that it gets attention, visibility, and then people vote according to that. Shaina's party, Shiv Sena, other parties will try and regionalize it and say Mumbai is being taken out of Maharashtra, and they'll politicize it, and then it goes for a toss.
The same thing happens in cities like Delhi and all that also.
What do we want for Mumbai? We clearly want better infrastructure, projects which have been lying in the cold storage for years, not completed.
We want
By the
pothole
time
free
they're
roads also.
completed- 1 minute, please.
We want
Let me-
pothole free roads
Yes.
also, which comes
Yes,
under the
of
Shiv
course.
Sena BJP.
And we want some roads which belong to the state government also. Let's not get into that. What do we want?
Why not?
We want infrastructure projects. You have a metro rail, monorail. Why is it not functioning the way it should have been, should function? You have a ceiling, one part completed at 4 times the price, you have so many more to go. All these big projects, whether it's housing, whether it's transport, whether it's infrastructure, you need to have that one quality which is called political will to say this is the way it's going to be done. The bureaucracy falls into place, everyone falls into place.
I completely disagree. You need political consensus, not only political will. Because today
perhaps you need a bit of both.
because 90% of issues run in Mumbai city are run by the BMC where they are in power.
But China, the point is, at the end of the day, you do need some cooperation. I mean, just having Prime Minister Modi is not necessarily going to fix all of this.
Absolutely, but trust me.
I mean, look at how they behaved in Parliament in the last 5 years. They've disrupted Parliament
and we should have just stayed as
repeatedly.
silent spectators, not played
No, you
our
should
job
debate
as
issues.
opposition, or we should
No,
be
but
brought
when
out
You
to
should
audience.
debate
When
issues,
the
you shouldn't
Prime
interrupt
Minister is
Parliament.
not vocal, what does one
Why
do?
should you
You
interrupt
don't give
Parliament? You
answers
should
on
debate
anything
issues.
and the opposition
Okay,
is
let me
supposed
come
to
back.
just
Let me
sit.
come back here to the audience. Somebody else who hasn't spoken. The lady out there.
The issue for the safety of women. What
Very
you all will
important.
do?
Okay, safety
What can
of-
you do? Because it
Safe-
is very dangerous for little child
Absolutely.
who is going to school or it is at home.
I'll tell you.
And of the women who are going to the offices.
No, Vikram, I just
Okay,
want to say one thing.
hang on. Safety of women, I have to say, Mumbai is a city which was once considered exceptionally safe for women. And look what's happening right now.
Because
Look-
27,000 of the 49,000 cops are only doing DVIP duty. 22,000 police force is available to this mammoth city to look after women, to look after children, senior citizens, etc. It cannot happen. We have to have reforms and we have to start by showing the
The
way.
entire police force is so politicized today that they are doing chamchagiri around the politicians because that's where the future is coming.
Again,
You
the
know,
department
they can't
is
act unilaterally. They can't even promote or shift or hold on to any of their staff.
I think firstly, thank you for raising that question. I think women's safety is very, very critical. And exactly, that's what I was going to say. And it's much more important for younger women who are working and who have to travel. I believe we do need to have better policing. There's no doubt about it. But I fundamentally believe that in Mumbai or whether it's Delhi, at a nationwide level, it's not a local problem of Mumbai alone. I think we need to have a campaign where, again, political parties, civil society have to come together and we have to sensitize people towards women, especially men. We have to sensitize men towards women's issues. We have to
Milind,
make...
that's a sort of a solution which will take 20 years to
I don't
do.
agree with that.
I mean,
Just gonna say,
sensitization of men. Can I just say
Bharat
something? We've been talking about sensitizing men to the problems of women since time immemorial,
Absolutely.
5,000 years ago.
Absolutely.
Men haven't got
I don't
sensitized till
think
now. Why
so.
would it suddenly
Absolutely.
I don't
happen?
think
All
it's
that
become.
is
I don't think it's become
Arafat,
as
Home
powerful an
Minister.
issue as it is today. I think today.
It used to be a powerful issue in the Middle Ages.
Well, today it's a much more powerful issue. It's a much more relevant issue, and people understand that there are medieval mindsets that exist in our society, and we have to change those medieval mindsets.
All right, some other issues, your local issues.
Sir, I just have a request while answering to all the questions that people are putting up. Please don't tell us what you feel and what you believe. Tell us what you have done and then leave it to us to see if it's right or not. We are not at all interested in what you feel.
Okay.
Your feelings
Tell us
are
what you
because
actually
you
do, not what you feel. Fine, fair enough. And the lady there, yeah.
I just want to tell you all parties, can you please tell us the provision like you people at the time of voting, we are able to see even this stall has the same problem. So can you think about this, the provision like when, what is the provision so that I can frequently and you people can come to us to meet what are our local problems. It is only not only the election time you just came here and listen. And another thing, in this TV program, sir, I am just just want to tell to you that you are talking about the other parties, what are the solution. You were there from last 5 years in the cabinet, so you should talk with your parties or the opposition, what is the possible solution. It is not the right time to talk about a solution about the farmer suicide or about this thing, housing and all. You should think about this. We give you the power.
We try. It's not that we don't try. We try to engage with the opposition. Do you watch what happens in Parliament regularly? For the last 10 years since I've been an MP, I became an MP at the age of 27. I had high hopes, high ideals for how Parliament should function. I'm still hopeful. I'm still optimistic. But unfortunately, a lot of my confidence in how Parliament functions has been shattered because I've seen time and time again that we in government reach out to the opposition, like I did on this show. I'm trying to elevate the debate where it's not a tutu-meme debate where we can work together. But unfortunately, if we keep pointing fingers, we're not going to find solutions to India's problems.
That particular point is something that is something which the BJP also needs to introspect on, and particularly because you could have a new government now in 2 months' time. It could be a BJP government, and you may face the same thing. When the opposition is going to disrupt Parliament, no legislation will go through, and we'll be at a logjam.
If we do scam after scam, please pull us up. Please
By the
expose
disruption
us
of Parliament.
Absolutely, because that's a legit place. The point is that you have so many cases of
But you've
scam
been disrupting
after
Parliament for
scam.
10 years.
But
for
disrupting-
10
But
years.
you all have done no less for
From
us.
let me
One
tell you,
minute, we have
Vikram,
not done this for 10
in
years.
2004,
when you want,
in
you want the food
2004, when I
security
got
bill
first
passed,
elected.
we are right there.
In
when
2004,
you talk about
when
the
I got
Lokpal,
first-
you take the credit of it, where we are proactively supporting. When we are
Okay, but
doing
can I-
all this
one
concrete
second.
stuff, you just
China,
have
okay,
blinkers
look,
on.
this Parliament is over. No more Parliament is taking place. For the next Parliament, we are now electing a new bunch of MPs. Can we not try and say that, okay, at least in the next Parliament, let Parliament function? So it's not about the BJP or the Congress. This time it could be a BJP government which is asking the
Proactively,
opposition
yes.
for cooperation.
But
See,
it's-
nobody
but
likes
it's
to
so
disrupt
easy.
the parliament, basically.
But
I
they
mean,
do
that
it in
happens
any
as a
case.
last resort when one
When you
gets
don't get
exasperated because
answers.
Sushma ji or
You can have 4 people holding up Parliament for months, has happened
Yeah.
right now with Telangana. What are you going to do?
It's so easy for the opposition to actually stop the proceedings of Parliament until you make it illegal. You have to make it illegal. You debate it.
Or if somebody is disrupting Parliament, have the person removed. That's
Removed,
that should
exactly.
happen.
Which used
So
to be
now
the-
can I ask this, can we all agree on this?
Yes,
because we
100%.
don't have a Parliament right now. So I'm not-
I would go a step further. Not only members of the opposition,
You
even
think
if
it's
you're
okay,
member of the
China, to have
Treasury
disruption?
benches.
You need answers.
Of course not.
If your answers are
Because they've
answered,
been
there's no
disrupting
question
the
of
Parliament more
stalling.
than anybody
If you're
else.
not going to give answers to the public,
I'm sorry,
who
you
you are
can't convert
looting,
Parliament of
you
India into
cannot-
Azad
no,
Maidan.
No, we're not
Parliament
doing that.
of India is a temple of democracy.
The bills
It's
that
where
have
things have
been
to be
passed,
debated.
where you've proactively taken our support, your mum
So,
about. What about the
so there is no
Lokpal?
commitment.
China, you
What
shouldn't,
about
you shouldn't,
no,
you shouldn't
no,
defend
no.
your party's
So, Vikram,
behavior
there's
in the
no
last
commitment.
10 years.
That-
with
that-
regards to
that-
the
You
that-
should
so-
be
Defend
defending
anarchists
All right,
inside
guys.
the parliament.
Guys,
And they've been causing anarchy in the parliament for so long, and they call others anarchists.
okay, so will the Aam Aadmi Party promise is not going to disrupt Parliament?
Absolutely, our
Even
conduct,
if you have
our conduct.
whoever your MPs are,
They leave the
Absolutely.
government
tell me,
and
why
go
are
out.
you-
They
Promise
leave the
promise me
government
this.
and go out.
Promise me this.
I promise you.
I'm already having visions of a dharna on the speaker's table.
Yes.
Here it is. We are on dharna, speaker's
You
table.
have
We're
seen
not
the
moving anywhere.
conduct of the MLAs in the Delhi Assembly. Not once did we insult the democracy and the democratic institutions.
But obviously you are ruling,
inside.
you are the chief minister. You
You
can't have a
could-
dharna inside your own
You can
assembly.
do a-
but
no,
you
no,
can have
they
it
did
outside.
You can have
You can have it outside.
against the central government.
So now I'm
Of course
asking,
you can do dharna.
now
Everybody
I'm
has a right
asking
to
if the
do a
Aam Aadmi
dharna
Party
against-
gets 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, however many MPs they're going to get. Does the Aam Aadmi Party promise us we will not do a dharna inside Parliament?
It promises exemplary conduct inside parliament that the country would like to see and emulate.
Does that include a dharna or not? I'm trying to be a lawyer out here. You never know.
You can be a lawyer. No, we will not do anything which is disruptive in the parliament. We will not do dharnas and protests in the parliament. The parliament
You can do
is,
it
like I
outside.
said, yeah, there is a forum outside to do dharnas. There is a place where
And
you
block
can
Parliament
protest.
so nobody can get it.
Okay, so China, are you a bit bemused by this? The Aam Aadmi Party says they're not going to disrupt Parliament, but you're not
We're
objecting to it, and it
talking
might well be your government.
1 minute. Telangana, you're attributing to us. Who were all the
I
people
wasn't
there? The
attributing it to
Congress
you. I'm saying
people
they
were
were
also there.
I know they were.
mean,
I'm not saying I wasn't
please,
attributing
don't have
Telangana to you.
blinkers on and then, cherry pick on certain incidents.
I
think
wasn't
that one
blaming
needs to-
Telangana on you. I'm
okay,
asking you for a
okay.
blanket commitment
Okay.
now that the
But
next
what
Parliament,
are you
whatever the
talking
issues
about?
are,
listen,
can we try and have
listen,
Parliament?
listen, one second,
national
just one second.
interest,
I don't know
and
why-
the idea is to have
why-
business done.
I don't know why politicians, especially young politicians like Shaina and myself and all of us, who are concerned about parliamentary democracy, it's not a very big thing to commit and say that let's promise that we will allow Parliament to function.
Okay.
We should have a place to protest. We have media studios and people like you for that. But Parliament is a place where you need to legislate. You
What
need
a
to pass
compliment.
bills.
So
Today there are
basically,
so many
protest
bills
on the big
pending.
fight, protest on the big fight, and get business done in Parliament.
And
That's
exactly.
Dharnas outside.
That's what the general consensus is. I'm going to take a break. We'll be back and get some final thoughts from everybody when we return. Don't go away.